And number one, I mean, this is something you wrote about too, is just the burnout you were feeling
Mhm.
and trading your time for money, working 6 days a week, no vacations, or no holidays. I mean, it seemed like you were going through something brutal in that stretch of the business. And then you brought on that other doctor.
Yeah.
When did you know you were ready to bring on another doctor? Like what are some factors other owners should think about when they're looking at their own business and potentially thinking about bringing on another doctor? What are those things?
Yeah, I think the number one thing for me was my new patient numbers. I was looking at that as a new doctor. It was a single doctor practice. We were averaging, I think, 110 new patients per month. Okay. And to clarify a few things, I've, kind of mentioned it to some people. They say, well, I want the high paying new patients. Well, okay. But, you know, I think all new patients are all patients to be treated equally. But I think one caveat to throw out is sometimes I've heard doctors say, well, you could do that in your community, but I wouldn't be able to do that in mine. You've had that. Well, I think that if I can do it in my communities that I serve, and I'm not putting any of my community members down, but those people, you could do it in your community. And the reason I say that is my median household income in all three communities is roughly $32,000, and
Oh,
our poverty rate is 27%.
wow.
So I think that, when I hear the doctors say that, it's like, that's an excuse. I think you gotta be creative and not competitive. And you have to have an open mindset and be coachable. And you're gonna have to work a little harder. But I think when I found out when do I need to hire another doctor, was looking at those new patient numbers, and it was like, oh my gosh, we're getting all these new patients in, and plus we got our established patient base, and our recall rate was still right around 60, 65%, a little bit on the lower end, but still not too bad at the time, considering I wasn't focusing very heavily on marketing. But and then I would look, and I was consistently booked out, a week to 2 weeks year round. And that's not really that good of a thing. And the reason being is people today want instant satisfaction. I think 15, 20 years ago, they may have waited a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, but Amazon has created a mindset where you can click a button and you can have something delivered to your house
Right,
probably the
right.
same day.
Yeah.
And that is spilling over into other areas of the economy. And it's the same thing with eye care, right? And so it's like we have spots that are able to get patients in the same day, new patients in the same day, and so on and so forth. But I think that that's what I looked at. I thought, man, when am I going to be able to take a vacation? When am I going to be able to take a break? And the thing is, too, I said, well, if I take a vacation, I could have, I would have been okay. But in my mind, I was like, geez, then I still got to pay people to be here because I need dispensings and adjustments and repairs and things like that. And, we still got to schedule patients. We can't shut the office down. So, it's costing me not only to go on vacation, but also to keep the business and the building up and running. And so I thought, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and get a doctor hired. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that doctor is well taken care of, meaning I'm going to put him in here. And at the time we were working 4.5 days a week with one late evening and a Saturday, half day Saturday. And so I'm going to fill that doctor's schedule as full as I can get it because I want them to be happy and I want them to make as much money as they can. Right. And I've heard some other doctors before say, well, I need to bring in an associate because I don't work Fridays and Saturdays anymore. So I'm going to give those days to them. No, you can't do that. You got to flip it, make sure that doctor that you're hiring is incredibly busy. And
Mm.
then you can pull back a little bit because I think one of the mindsets that I've learned is the greatest distraction to growing my practice is seeing patients. It is really hard to work in the business and work on the business. It will drain you. So you have to make a decision to kind of pull back from patient care. You don't have to quit altogether, but you need to kind of pull back. And I think once doctors do that, you'll really see your business explode. You'll really see it take off.
Yeah, and I love that because you not only took, stress and fatigue and just exhaustion off your shoulders by bringing someone else to do a lot of that patient care for you, but you lighten your load so you can be more intentional about spending more time working on the business
Yeah.
as the owner and bringing the business forward instead of being stuck working constantly in the business as an employee, essentially as
Yeah.
an employee practitioner. And I am a huge fan. I mean, a framework I've adopted from other people is to be as intentional as possible about time you want to spend, how many days, literally how many days you want to spend working in your practice as a practitioner employee, on your practice as the owner, visionary, whatever you want to call it, management, and then even out of your practice, like how many days do you intentionally want to spend working out of your practice doing other things and solving that puzzle of how to make that work, because it can work. You can almost, I believe you can almost do anything you want to do. It's just, what is it going to take to do that? Or
Yeah.
who do you need to bring in to do that?
Right.
And so I love the intentionality you had in bringing on that other, evaluating what's going on in your practice and where it needs to be improved, and then being willing to bring on another doctor. Was it hard for you to learn to delegate some of that patient care and some of the other responsibilities onto another doctor? Like what was that transition like?
I don't think so. I think that it was more of a breath of fresh air because the doctor that I hired I knew he was great,
Mm,
right? Just like the three doctors I've got now, they're great. They get tremendous amount of compliments. Patients love them. And it was a breath of fresh air because like I said, I was working 6 days a week. And I was like, oh man, I feel like I'm just sprinting this long marathon that should be, you should be on cruise control. And when he came in, it was like, oh man, now I can take a day off. Oh my gosh. I mean, I can, and I didn't just immediately pull back from patient care. I still saw patients and I still worked really hard, and still, to this day, I still see patients, 4 days a week. But again, I'm kind of reaching that point where we're starting to maximize all of our space. And so, we're actually looking for another doctor to come join our practice right now. And so once we get that, I'm going to pull back 2 days a week. That doesn't mean that I'm going to take the other 5 days as vacation.
right,
It's
right,
I'm going
right.
to take 2 days of patient care, then 2 or 3 days, and I'm going to be looking for other opportunities. But then I'm also going to be doing some coaching and trying to help out our team, help us be more efficient, provide a better patient experience, and work on that aspect. But as far as delegating, I didn't have any problem because I knew that I hired the right people and they had the right culture, right? I've always believed that 80% of your success will come from communication. Okay. And that could be form of nonverbal or verbal. And then the other 20% is your skill set. So I think we all know that, you could be a great doctor, know how to diagnose every disease and how to pick up on that and do what. But if you're very cold in the exam room, if you don't have that chairside manner, if you can't build that rapport and develop a relationship with your patients, that's what they really care about. They care about that. And that's what I hired for. I looked for those doctors that could do that. And the same thing for my current team members. I think they're fantastic. And, as a leader, my needs come second. I wanted to make sure that everything that they had, everything that they needed, and everything that they wanted, I could get them within, being realistic, but it's tough. And I think that's what, being a CEO is whatever this team needs in order to achieve our goals is what you have to do. And you can't be afraid to spend the money. You can't be afraid to spend your time and your energy to help them get there. Because once they achieve their goals, then you'll achieve your goal.